Today we're diving into everything you need to know about Carnival Freedom and whether it's the right cruise for you and your family. I'm covering it all, from boarding and cabins to dining, entertainment, pools, the crew, and even the vibe of the passengers on board. If you've ever wondered what the food is really like, how easy it is to get around, what kind of crowd you'll be sailing with, or if this ship is worth your hard-earned money, you're in the right place. This is a full, honest look at my cruise, the good, the not so good, and everything in between, so you can plan your trip with confidence. Whether you're a first-time cruiser or a seasoned sailor, stick around because we're about to take a complete tour of Carnival Freedom. Let's start with getting on board. Security and customs were quick, smooth, and simple, and before I knew it, we were through and ready to start our adventure. The waiting area was big and surprisingly comfortable, so it never felt stressful. This is the perfect moment to take a breath, pull out your phone, and keep yourself entertained. I like to download podcasts, scroll through social media, and honestly, it is the best time to open up the Carnival app and really get familiar with it. You can review the daily schedule, check out what's happening on board, and even plan which activities you want to hit first. If you are traveling with family or friends, this is also a great chance to go over plans for the week and set a few ground rules so everyone is on the same page before you even get on the ship. Something that stood out to me right away was how many people had cans of soda tucked in their carry-ons. Carnival actually allows this, up to 12 cans or cartons per person, and each adult can bring one bottle of wine or champagne if it is sealed and unopened. If you plan to drink it in the dining room, they will charge a corkage fee, but if you enjoy it in your cabin, you are all set. It is such a nice little perk that can save you money if you like a particular drink. Walking across the gangway and stepping onto the ship was the moment it really hit me. The atrium was glowing, music was playing, and the crew was there to welcome everyone with huge smiles. It felt like the entire ship was buzzing with excitement. We were on a full sailing for 5 days in the middle of summer, and you could feel that fun energy everywhere. While we make our way to our muster station, let's talk about where we went. Our itinerary took us to Nassau and Half Moon Cay. Nassau gives you that busy, colorful Caribbean port experience, while Half Moon Cay is pure beach bliss. As soon as I got on board and dropped my bags, I made a beeline for the pool deck because there is no better way to kick off a cruise than with the sail away party. Every ship has one, and on this ship it happens right up on deck 9, where all the action is. The moment I stepped out onto the deck, the music was pumping, the cruise director was on the microphone getting everyone hyped up, and you could just feel that vacation energy washing over the entire crowd. This is honestly one of my favorite moments on any cruise. It is the official start of fun. The party is loud, it is lively, and it is full of dancing, games, and people just letting loose. If you are into music and dancing, you will feel right at home. If you are not much of a dancer, trust me, it is still a blast to just sit back with a drink and watch everyone else go for it. There is always that one brave passenger who jumps right in and gets the whole crowd laughing and cheering. I love it because it gets me in the mood for the entire trip. This is also the perfect time to grab your first drink, activate your drink package if you have one, and let yourself relax into cruise mode. You will also get introduced to the cruise director and entertainment team, which is a nice bonus because they are the people you will be seeing all week at shows and events. Even if you are shy, I would encourage you to get involved. The truth is, most of the people on deck are just standing around watching, but when you step into the action, you really feel like part of the party. I think it is a way better experience to dance, clap along, or at least cheer for the brave folks doing the contest. Before you know it, the ship is pulling away from the dock, the horns are blowing, and everyone is waving goodbye to the port. There is just something about that moment that makes you feel like the real world is behind you and vacation has officially started. You are surrounded by happy people, the ocean breeze is hitting your face, the music is playing, and you can feel the ship slowly gliding out to sea. It is a mix of excitement, relaxation, and just pure joy. For me, that first sail away party is when the cruise really begins. The atrium really is the heart of the ship, and on Carnival Freedom, it sits right there on deck 3, opening up into this dramatic multi-story space. It is hands down the nicest area inside the ship, at least in terms of size and impact, and it is where you truly feel like you have stepped into a floating city. Personally, I always like starting my cruise by taking a few minutes here just to soak it in because it sets the tone for the trip. That said, I have to be honest, the look of the atrium on this ship is definitely not for everyone. It feels a little dated to me, and in a a strange way reminds me of being inside a spaceship. It is bold, colorful, and definitely not a neutral design. I appreciated that it was clean and well maintained, but the style just was not my favorite. That is just me though, because I know plenty of people who love the over-the-top Carnival decor. Something I usually enjoy is being greeted when I first enter the ship, but this time no one was really there welcoming us in. The staff seemed much more focused on clearing the hallways and directing everyone straight to their muster stations. I get it, safety first, but it took away from that warm welcome I normally look forward to. The centerpiece of the atrium is the decorative elevator shaft with its glass elevators gliding up and down. It is really eye-catching and makes the whole area feel more alive. There's a large bar right in the middle of the space which is always buzzing, and at night this is where you can catch live music, trivia, or even small performances. There is plenty of seating all around the atrium with plush chairs that make it a great place to sit, have a drink, people watch, and just enjoy the energy. It does get busy, especially in the evenings, but that is part of the fun. For me, the atrium is one of those spots that feels like the true hub of the ship, where everything and everyone eventually passes through at some point during the cruise. So here's a little snapshot of the ship we're aboard. The vessel first set sail in 2007 after being built in Italy, making it one of Carnival's stalwart conquest class ships. It can carry about 2,980 guests at double occupancy, though with every bunk filled, that number stretches to around 3,754, and it's staffed by about 1,150 crew members who keep everything running smoothly. Its current home port is Port Canaveral, Florida, which makes it super convenient for a lot of Bahamas and Caribbean cruises. This ship belongs to the Conquest class, so you're getting a solid, spacious layout with all the Carnival trademarks you expect. One of the most recent big updates was a dry dock in early 2023, where they updated cabins and public areas. There was another short stint in dry dock in late 2023 to expand the casino and photography studio, so it looks fresh and feels ready for fun. When it comes to food on board, most people spend a good chunk of their time in the buffet, and I am no exception. I always look at two things when I'm sizing up the food on a ship. First is the quality, meaning how good it actually tastes, and second is the variety, which is how many different things there are to choose from. I personally love to try new things, so the more options, the better. Starting with the buffet, I would say the food was good, but not amazing. It is pretty much what I expected from this cruise line. If you are used to cruising, you will find plenty of the familiar favorites like carved meats, pasta stations, salads, and desserts. There was nothing too exotic or surprising, but the basics were covered. Where I think it fell a little short was in the variety. I was hoping for more international flavors or rotating dishes. After a few days, it started to feel a bit repetitive, especially if you are eating breakfast and lunch here every day. One nice thing about the buffet is that it is very casual and easy to grab something quickly. If you are in a hurry to get to an activity or head ashore, it is perfect. But if you like to sit and enjoy your meal, you might find yourself hunting for something new after a few days. As far as drinks go, you get unlimited lemonade, iced tea, and usually one type of fruit punch or flavored juice that rotates. There is a hot tea station and both regular and decaf coffee that is included. If you are a coffee lover and want something a little fancier, like a cappuccino or a latte, there are specialty coffee bars around the ship, and you can order one right from the buffet area if you do not mind paying a little extra. One thing I noticed is that the cups in the buffet are pretty small. I saw lots of passengers bringing their own larger cups or insulated tumblers to fill up, which is a great idea if you do not want to keep going back for refills. This is especially helpful on sea days when you are out by the pool and want to stay hydrated. I do have to mention that sanitation in the buffet area was not as emphasized as I would have liked to see. After everything we have all been through with COVID, I expected to see more focus on hand washing stations, crew reminding people to sanitize, and maybe even staff serving at some of the high touch stations. It was mostly self-service, and while that is convenient, I found myself wishing they were a little stricter about hygiene in such a busy area. Overall, the buffet got the job done. It was easy, casual, and had enough variety to keep me fed, but it did not blow me away. If you are the type who wants to explore lots of different flavors or try something new every day, you might find it a little basic. But if you want a no-fuss place to grab a plate and keep moving, the buffet definitely delivers. Beyond the buffet, there are several included dining spots that are perfect for quick meals or casual bites throughout the day. All of these are on deck 9 near the pool area, which makes it easy to grab food between activities or while enjoying some time outside. Guy's Burger Joint is one of the most popular stops. The burgers are juicy and flavorful, and you can build your own with a variety of toppings. The fries are fresh and salty, exactly what you want after a few hours on the pool deck. It feels like a fun, casual diner right at sea, and it is included in your fare, which makes it even better. Blue Iguana Cantina is another favorite. This bright and casual spot serves freshly made tacos and burritos with house-made tortillas. There is also a salsa bar that lets you customize the flavor just the way you like it. The breakfast burritos are especially good and make for a quick and satisfying start to the day. For late night cravings, Pizza Pirate is the place to go. It is open late and serves fresh, hot pizza whenever you need it. After shows or a long day exploring the ship, it is the perfect spot to grab a slice before heading to bed. All of these options make eating on board feel flexible and fun. It is convenient, easy, and included in the cruise fare. When you step into the main dining rooms aboard the Carnival Freedom, you're entering a space where dining transforms into an experience. The ship boasts 2 main dining rooms, Posh and Chic. Posh, the larger of the two, spans 2 levels and offers a grand split-level dining experience. Chic, while slightly smaller, provides an equally elegant atmosphere. Both dining rooms are located on decks 3 and 4, and while the menus are identical, the decor and ambiance differ, allowing guests to choose the environment that best suits their mood. The atmosphere is more refined and the service is attentive. The menus change daily, offering a variety of options to cater to different tastes. From appetizers to desserts, there's something for everyone. The food quality is generally better than the buffet, and the ambiance makes dining feel more like an experience than just a meal. One of the highlights of dining in the main dining rooms is the service. The staff is exceptional, often remembering your drink preferences and making you feel like a valued guest. With anytime dining, the staff may not know your preferences right away, but they quickly get to know you and provide personalized service. The dining rooms are open for breakfast, lunch on sea days, and dinner, with set seating times for dinner and the option for anytime dining. The food quality is generally better than the buffet, and the atmosphere makes dining feel more like an experience than just a meal. In the evenings, the waitstaff adds a special touch by performing songs and dances, creating a lively and festive atmosphere. It's a fun diversion that adds to the overall dining experience. One of the things that really stands out about dining in the main rooms is the staff. The level of service was exceptional from start to finish. I noticed that when you ordered a drink, many of the servers would remember what you liked and check back later to see if you wanted another. That kind of attention makes you feel cared for, especially when you're juggling a busy cruise schedule. With anytime dining, who you get is a bit of a luck of the draw. Sometimes your server won't know your drink preferences, special needs, or dietary restrictions right away, but they quickly get to know you and adjust accordingly. It's also good to note that the food is identical in both dining rooms, so the only real differences are in the decor, color schemes, and furnishings. Each room has its own personality, so it's fun to explore both during your cruise. This ship has one specialty restaurant where you can enjoy an upgraded dining experience for an additional charge, and it really is a step up from the main dining room. The food here is some of the best on board, with better cuts of meat, more unique dishes, and beautiful presentation. The service and ambiance feel a little more polished, making it perfect for a special occasion like a birthday, anniversary, or just a night where you want to treat yourself. One of the biggest draws for me when I'm cruising is the pool deck. It isn't just for the kids, it's for everyone. On Carnival Freedom, there are 2 pools. The Timeless Pool is the main pool right on the Lido Deck, and it's the most popular spot during the day. There's also the Endless Pool, which is reserved for adults, so it stays a bit quieter and is a great place to relax. The main pool can definitely get crowded, especially since it's the only pool on the ship that allows kids. That means a lot of families naturally gravitate to the main pool deck, so expect it to be busy during sea days and packed during the sail away party. The good news is that the pool area is designed to handle a lot of people, and the way Carnival staggers activities on board, it never really felt overwhelming to me except for that sail away celebration. Most of the time, even on sea days, I could still find a spot and enjoy the pool without feeling like it was jam-packed. All the pools are saltwater and they're cleaned and refreshed daily, so the water always feels nice and fresh. The main pools are about 4.5 feet deep, which is just right for a casual swim, but shallow enough that you can stand comfortably. The endless pool is slightly shallower at about 4 feet. There are also several hot tubs scattered around the ship, some right near the main pools. The hot tubs use fresh water, which feels nice after a swim in the saltwater pools. One thing that stood out to me was that there are lifeguards stationed at each pool. I really appreciate that because it adds a layer of safety, especially for families with kids. There are also plenty of life vests available if you need them. The pool deck has showers so you can rinse off after a swim, which is nice before heading to grab food or relax somewhere else on the ship. The pool chairs are definitely one of the hottest commodities on sea days. If you want a prime chair right by the pool or in a good shaded spot, you'll need to get there early. I'd say around 7:30 in the morning is ideal. By 9 or 10, most of the prime spots are already taken. You'll notice people head down before breakfast to reserve chairs by leaving towels and small personal items on them. Technically, that's frowned upon, but it's very common, and the crew usually doesn't interfere. There is a water park on board, but to be honest, it's not very big. If you've been on ships with those massive, elaborate water parks, you might be a little underwhelmed here. It does have the classic big bucket that tips over and dumps water on everyone, which is always fun, and the slides all finish in this area, so kids still get that splashy excitement, but there isn't a whole lot else to it. If your little ones are expecting to spend the whole day running around a giant water park, they might get bored pretty quickly. The good news is that there are plenty of seats around for parents to sit and keep an eye on things, and there are whirlpools right below the water park. So you can relax with a drink in hand while the kids play, and there's always a lifeguard on duty just in case. What's nice is that the water park is located right on the main pool deck. So when the kids are ready for a change of scenery, it's super easy to just grab a life vest and head straight to the pool for a swim. There are a total of 6 whirlpools on board, and 4 of them are adults only. 2 are tucked away in the Serenity area, which is the 21 and over retreat, and those are usually the calmest spots if you really want to unwind. 2 more are up on the main pool deck. Technically, they're supposed to be for adults, but most of the time you'll find them packed with kids and teens, so they can get a little chaotic. The last 2 whirlpools are located just above the adult pool area toward the back of the ship. These are a nice middle ground. You get that more relaxed, grown-up vibe without having to head all the way to Serenity. And the best part? All 6 whirlpools use fresh water, which feels great compared to the main pool that's filled with salt water. Now, let's talk pool towels. You'll find towels waiting in your stateroom, and if you need extras, you can check them out using your room key card at the towel station. This is super handy if you plan to take a towel with you to the beach on port days. Just make sure you bring them back because Carnival will charge you if they're missing at the end of the cruise. And one last thing to note, since this is a smaller ship, there's no solarium on board, so the main pool deck really is the central hub for swimming and lounging. Carnival really leans into being a family cruise line, and you'll definitely notice it once you're on board. If you sail during the summer, holidays, or spring break, there are going to be kids everywhere running around, splashing in the pools, and just having the time of their lives. And honestly, that's part of the fun energy of a Carnival cruise. But sometimes you just want a little grown-up time, and that's where the adults-only pool area comes in. It's like a hidden little oasis. The vibe completely changes the second you step in. Calmer, quieter, and just a little more relaxed. Kids can still pass through the space, but they're not allowed in the pool or the whirlpool that overlooks it. So you really do get that peaceful escape. What I loved was how convenient it was. There's a bar right there, so you can grab a cocktail or a cold drink without leaving your chair, and there are 2 food spots just steps away, so you can literally spend hours there, swimming, relaxing, grabbing a bite, then hopping back in the pool. Deck chairs are sprinkled all around, and if it gets a little crowded, there's an upper level with extra seating and great views of the ship and ocean. It's the perfect spot to spend a sea day if you want to slow things down a bit. On Carnival Freedom, entertainment really is a big part of the cruise experience, and honestly, there's never a dull moment. From the minute you wake up to the moment you turn in for the night, there's always something happening. If you download the ship's app, you'll see just how packed the schedule is. There are dozens of activities happening every day, from high energy events for the younger crowd to more relaxed options for those of us who like to watch and enjoy. They really do a good job making sure there's something for everyone. You've got game shows, trivia, quizzes, bingos, and Carnival somehow makes even bingo fun, plus an assortment of other organized activities designed to make you laugh, smile, and just enjoy yourself. One of the things I love most about cruising is that there's a pace and style of entertainment for everyone. You can follow every event if you want to, or just pick a few that catch your eye and go with it. The app makes it easy to see what's happening, where and when, and I highly recommend taking a look each day so you don't miss anything you might like. Now, when it comes to the bigger shows, the main theater, which is called the Victoriana Lounge, is really something. It seats about 1,400 people, so it's huge and it's gorgeous. Walking in for the first time, you get that classic wow moment. The room is lush, richly decorated, and the lighting is dramatic, which sets the perfect mood before the show even starts. Every evening, there are 2 main productions, Broadway-style shows with singers and dancers performing to choreographed music and massive video screens behind them. It's all timed perfectly, from the lighting to the video backdrops to the dancers' moves. If you're familiar with Carnival entertainment, you'll feel right at home here. The shows are fun, polished, and engaging. The choreography is really good, the dancing is energetic, and you can tell the performers are putting everything into their performance. The singing is solid, though I wouldn't call it mind-blowing, it's just competent. But that's okay because everything else is so visually engaging. The audience really gets into it, clapping, singing along, waving their hands, and occasionally giving standing ovations. It's a lively environment, and that energy really makes the experience enjoyable. For me personally, there wasn't a show that totally blew my socks off, but I still felt like I got exactly what I expected. Solid entertainment that's worth your time. The seats themselves are comfortable and plush, but be aware that some can be obstructed by support pillars, so getting there early helps if you want a perfect view. There's no reserved seating aside from handicap spots, so it's first come, first served. Beyond the main theater, there's plenty of entertainment happening in smaller venues. Most of these performances take place in the atrium or on the stage in the casino, and the focus is mostly on music, singing, and dancing. There are lots of little shows throughout the evening, so if you wander around, you're bound to catch something fun. Personally, I wish these smaller spaces were used a bit more for additional entertainment, but what is there is enjoyable. You'll often stumble across a talented singer, a duo performing a medley, or a lively group putting on a short dance number. And then there are the comedians. Honestly, these were some of the absolute best entertainment on board. Carnival Freedom had several different comedians performing during the cruise, which is great because you get to figure out which ones you really like. The comedians were exceptional, genuinely funny, quick on their feet, and able to connect with the audience. It seemed like everyone on board agreed. People were laughing, clapping, and just having a great time. For me, this was the highlight of the entertainment lineup. One of my favorite things about Carnival Freedom has to be karaoke. I don't know what it is, but there's just something so fun about watching people get up on stage and sing their hearts out. Sometimes you get someone who can really carry a tune, and it's amazing to watch them perform. Other times you get people who struggle a little, but they're completely unaware of it, and honestly, that's part of the charm. As an audience member, it's entertaining just to watch the whole thing unfold. What makes it even better is when members of the audience start singing along with the performer. Suddenly, it's not just one person on stage. It becomes this collective, spontaneous little party where strangers are laughing, cheering, and just having fun together. Karaoke is one of those activities where the energy is completely contagious, and it makes you feel like you're part of the ship's community in a really fun way. If movies are more your thing, Carnival Freedom has the dive-in movie theater right on the main pool deck. It's a great spot to catch relatively current releases while enjoying the ocean breeze. The picture and audio quality are surprisingly good, which is what really matters when you're watching a film outside. The nightlife around the pool deck isn't anything wild or off the wall. It's not a big party scene, and most people are perfectly content just sitting along the sidelines, watching a few people dance or interact, and enjoying the atmosphere. It's laid back, easygoing, and a nice change of pace if you're not looking for something too energetic. The reality is, you don't need Carnival to entertain you. I saw so many people on board just playing cards or board games with family, and sometimes even strangers would get together and play against each other. Honestly, I think this is some of the best entertainment you can find on a cruise. You can do it on your own time, you can do it with your family, and it's a great way to bring people together. It's something I always do with my family whenever I'm on board, and we always have a ton of fun just sitting around, laughing, and enjoying each other's company. The cruise ship does provide gaming materials, but I've noticed that they're often missing critical pieces, which can take away from the experience. If you're planning to play a game, my advice is to bring your own. That way, you're guaranteed to have everything you need and can really focus on enjoying the time together. It's simple, low-key, and surprisingly fun, and in my opinion, it's one of the best ways to relax and connect with people on board. There's a casino on board Carnival Freedom, and it's designed to connect different portions of the ship. That's intentional. They want you to walk through and check it out and maybe stop to gamble along the way. For the most part, the casino was pretty full. I saw people playing table games and slot machines, but because this is a smaller ship, you're not going to find as wide a variety of games as you would on one of those mega ships. One thing to note is that there isn't a non-smoking section, so the entire main area of the casino allows smoking. Personally, the smoke didn't bother me much, but I tend to notice it later when I go to bed, and the smell lingers in the covers. There's also a bar in the casino, which is convenient if you want to enjoy a drink while you play. If you're thinking about gambling, keep in mind that the payout rates on cruise ship casinos generally aren't as good as what you'd find on land. That said, many cruisers swear by the rewards and perks you get from playing on board. These can include complimentary gifts, perks, and sometimes even free or deeply discounted future cruises. So even if the odds aren't perfect, there's definitely a fun and rewarding element to checking out the casino while you're on board. There is a sports deck on board, though it's quite small, which makes sense given that this is a smaller ship. They have a basketball court and a pickleball court. The basketball court is adequate for half-court play, but the pickleball court is really where a lot of cruisers, especially older guests, tend to gather. Pickleball has become very popular on cruises, and it's worth remembering that over half of cruise passengers are over the age of 50, so it's no surprise that it's a favorite activity. That said, the court itself is quite tiny, so space is limited. Right above the sports court, there's a putt-putt golf course. It looks brand new, and you can tell it was recently redone. It's a fun little space, and not everyone realizes it's even up there, which makes it a bit of a hidden gem. The golf course is surrounded by the jogging track, which adds to the atmosphere, and it's a lot of fun. Definitely give it a try if you're up for a casual, lighthearted challenge. Unfortunately, there's no rock climbing wall or surfing simulators on board, but there are a few other options for guests who enjoy active games. There's a table tennis area tucked away in the solarium, though it's a little hard to find. Shuffleboard is also available, which is always a fun and social way to get a bit of activity in while enjoying the outdoors. Overall, the sports and activity options are compact but enjoyable. It's all there but just spread out and not in one central area. Admittingly, some things are hard to find. All in all, the crew did a good keep us entertained from morning to night. Whether you're into the big, polished theater productions, casual music, and dance performances in smaller venues, or laugh-out-loud comedy, there's generally something here for every age group. It's not going to blow your mind in every single performance, but it is fun and engaging, and exactly what you want from a cruise night. You'll leave the shows smiling, maybe singing along, and feeling like you got your money's worth. Cruising isn't for everyone, and that's totally okay. Some people find the constant activity on board a bit overwhelming. There are so many things happening, from live shows and games to theme parties and specialty dining, but you don't have to participate in everything to have a great time. The beauty of a cruise is that no matter how much or how little you enjoy life on the ship, the real adventure often begins when you reach your destinations. Most ships leaving from Florida or the East Coast head to the Caribbean, and that's where you really get to experience something new. You might find yourself exploring places you've never visited, tasting foods and spices you've never tried, and encountering cultures and traditions that are completely unfamiliar. Excursions are designed to make these experiences even more fun, adventurous, and unforgettable. Every cruise offers the chance to step into a new world, whether it's relaxing on a quiet beach, wandering through bustling local markets, or sampling a local delicacy for the first time. If shopping is on your list, ports of call often offer opportunities to pick up unique souvenirs, gifts, or trinkets. Prices at the port are generally better than what you'll find on the ship itself, so it's a great way to get something special and support the local economy at the same time. In most destinations, safety is well maintained. Police or security personnel are visible, and because tourism is such an important part of the local economy, authorities and locals work hard to ensure a positive, welcoming environment. This makes it easier to relax, explore, and enjoy everything the destination has to offer. If it's your first time at a port, I can't recommend enough that you take the chance to get off the ship and immerse yourself in the local area. Walk the streets, meet locals, try the food, and experience the sights and sounds that make that place unique. The people living there often rely heavily on tourism to support their families, so by engaging with the community, you're not only enriching your own travel experience, you're also giving back in a small but meaningful way. For me, that's one of the most rewarding aspects of cruising, the perfect balance between the comfort and fun of the ship and the excitement of stepping into a completely new world just beyond the gangway. The cruise itself is amazing, but the true treasures are often waiting for you on shore. When it comes to booking excursions, you have two main options. Booking through the cruise line is convenient, and there's peace of mind knowing the excursions are vetted and the ship maintains direct contact with the vendors. If something goes wrong, the cruise line is usually quick to assist or offer compensation. The downside is the cost. Excursions booked through the ship can be 15 to 50% more expensive than independent options. Booking independently can save a significant amount of money, and it's completely viable if you do your research. Many travelers read reviews, check out local operators ahead of time, and arrange excursions on their own. Whether you go through the cruise line or book independently, it's all about finding the right balance between convenience, cost, and peace of mind to fit your style of travel. If you're into relaxing and pampering yourself, the ship has a spa area as well as a salon where you can get your hair and nails done. It's a perfect retreat if you want some quiet time away from the crowds or just need to recharge. Keep in mind, though, that treatments can get expensive, so it's a good idea to budget ahead of time. One tip is to book your spa or salon appointment as early as possible, either before your cruise or right after boarding. Spots fill up fast, especially for popular treatments like massages or facials. Another tip is to arrive a little early so you can enjoy the relaxation lounge, steam room, or sauna before your session, which really enhances the experience. The ship isn't brand new, but it's been refreshed over the years, and you can tell in areas like the gym. The equipment is modern, sleek, and well maintained, and the layout of the gym makes it easy to move between machines without feeling cramped. One strange part of the gym is that you have to walk through the locker room to get to it. The good news is that the locker room has a really nice sauna, which is included and makes the walk worthwhile. I particularly love that the jogging track inside faces the front windows, giving you a full view of the ocean while you run or walk. It makes exercising feel less like a workout and more like a scenic experience. My tip for the gym is to try going early in the morning or later in the evening. That's usually when it's less crowded. Even on sea days, I never felt like I had to wait for equipment, which is a huge plus compared to some of the larger ships where gyms can feel packed. If you want to combine fitness and fun, the jogging track outside is also great for a scenic walk or run while you enjoy the fresh sea breeze. I like to mix it up. Start indoors on the treadmill or elliptical for a quick warm-up, then head outside for a few laps to stretch your legs and take in the ocean views. It's a small tip, but it really makes the whole experience feel more enjoyable. Many people don't realize that the price you pay to get on board the ship doesn't cover everything. The cruise line must make up the difference somewhere, and they do this through the casino, the drink and beverage packages, and onboard shopping, which is what we're going to talk about next. There are retail stores scattered throughout the ship, offering watches, perfumes, jewelry, clothing, and more. I didn't find the staff pushy at all. They were available if you wanted to ask questions or make a purchase, but they weren't accosting you in the hallways or pressuring you to buy anything, which is refreshing because not all cruise lines are this relaxed. That said, plenty of people were shopping and taking advantage of sales and duty-free deals. Here's a pro tip. The best deals tend to be on the last day or two of the cruise. You'll often find heavily discounted items, although the variety may be smaller. Still, it's a great way to snag bargains if you're keeping an eye out. One thing to watch for is seminars that are advertised as being about joint pain, posture, or other wellness topics. They often sound informative, but in reality, they're usually a way to get people through the door in order to sell products. On this ship, I didn't notice that happening much, which is nice. You'll also notice that your room key card can be used for almost anything on board. You can buy coffee, food, book excursions, pay for spa treatments. Essentially, the ship has gone cashless. This is intentional because it makes spending easy and efficient. Just be aware that when people use credit cards or key cards, they tend to spend up to 30% more than they planned. It's convenient, but it can add up, so it's worth keeping an eye on your spending if you want to stay on budget. Pro tip: never wait until the last day to settle your bill. Waiting can lead to long lines and dealing with crew members who are stressed and short on patience. To make things easier, review your bill throughout the cruise and address any issues as they come up. Always keep a printed receipt and make sure nothing is left unresolved before you disembark. Doing this will save you a lot of headaches and ensure a smooth checkout. While on board, one of the upsells you'll notice is professional photos. You'll see photographers throughout the ship, especially around dinner times, ready to capture moments as you get on and off the ship and in various areas. If you plan to purchase a photo package, it's a good idea to take as many photos as you can. The more options you have, the easier it is to pick the perfect shots at the end of your cruise. Just keep in mind, the more photos you take, the more likely you are to buy more. The professional photos do look great. The photographers know the right lighting, help you pose, and have excellent backgrounds. Generally, you're going to look really good in the shots. Many of these photo opportunities happen in the evening, just before or after dinner. That said, if you can't think of a way to display the photos at home, it might not be worth it. A lot of people on board simply rely on their phones for photos, and if you take enough, a few will turn out really well. Your professional photos are linked to your room number and are searchable using facial recognition technology via the Carnival Hub app. You can view your photos directly on your mobile device by navigating to the Pixels photo gallery section. You can then purchase digital copies or order prints. Makes things super convenient. One of the biggest upcharges you'll notice on board is the alcohol and soda package. Depending on how cheap your cruise fare was, the cost of the alcohol package can sometimes even exceed the price you paid for the cruise itself. That's how expensive it can get, so it's worth thinking through carefully before committing. One important rule to remember is that if one person in your stateroom wants the package, everyone in the room has to get it. That can be a deal breaker if your partner or traveling companion isn't planning to drink. My top recommendation is to do the math ahead of time. The package usually allows up to 15 drinks per day, but in order to really make it worth it, you'd need to drink roughly 10 drinks daily. You also have to factor in port days because the alcohol package does not apply while you're on shore. Your first day on board is usually just a half day, which further limits the total drinks you can enjoy. Think about how you actually plan to spend your time on the ship. If you're not someone who wants to be drinking throughout the entire cruise, the package may not be cost effective. There are also cocktail happy hours on board that can save you money, sometimes offering drinks at half price, though the selection may be limited compared to the full package. The bartenders on board are truly impressive. These are professionals who spend months at a time working at sea and making cocktails every day. Their experience often exceeds that of bartenders you'd find on land. If there's a drink you don't see listed, don't hesitate to ask. They can usually make it for you. The service throughout the bars and from the wait staff is consistently excellent. Drinks are made quickly, accurately, and with attention to detail. As for the alcohol itself, don't expect top shelf brands, but you also won't get the lowest quality options either. Most drinks are mid-grade, which is fine for the majority of cruisers. The ship has a good number of bars spread throughout, which gives you plenty of options for a quick cocktail or a sit-down drink. I often worry about the cruise turning into a bar crawl, especially when traveling with kids, but on this sailing, that was not the case. I didn't see anyone overserved or causing problems, and families were able to enjoy the ship without running into excessive drinking behavior. Here are a few tips if you're considering the package. Plan your drinking around sea days and evenings when you're on board to maximize value. Keep in mind that the package doesn't work on port days, so if you're hopping off to explore, that's lost opportunity. Also, pace yourself. Even though the package allows 15 drinks per day, it's easy to drink too quickly, and a cruise is a long week. You want to enjoy it without overdoing it. Overall, the alcohol and beverage package can be convenient and fun, but it's definitely worth considering how it fits your personal drinking habits, schedule, and the people in your stateroom. For some, it's a great way to sip and socialize without worrying about individual charges. For others, a more strategic approach, like ordering by the drink or taking advantage of happy hour specials, can save money while still letting you enjoy the onboard bars and cocktails. One of my favorite spots on the ship is the adult-only area called Serenity. Honestly, it's such a hidden gem. Whether you're a parent who just needs a break from your kids for a little while, or an adult traveling without children who just wants some peace and quiet, this place is perfect. The whole area is beautifully designed, comfortable, and just screams relaxation. It's the kind of spot where you can grab a drink, curl up with a book, or just sit back and soak in the calm vibe while the rest of the ship buzzes with energy. Serenity is on the upper decks across 2 levels, and the loungers here are honestly the most plush and inviting on the whole ship. Every time I went up there, I rarely saw anyone else and definitely no kids. That's why I emphasize the quiet. It's genuinely a place where you can breathe. They even had these cool egg-shaped loungers that weren't being used much, which made it feel extra private and luxurious. The area also has 2 whirlpools, its own shower facilities, plenty of loungers, and a bar. The bar wasn't open all the time, which was a little disappointing, but it's there if you want it. A lot of the loungers are under shade, which I really appreciated, and many of them face the ocean. The views are fantastic, and the breeze is just right. Not too windy, just that perfect light, cool ocean breeze that makes you feel like you're on vacation. If I have a tip for anyone heading here, it's to go early in the day or right before sunset. I found it's often quieter then, and you can really take your time relaxing without feeling rushed. Honestly, this is my go-to spot when I just want a real break from the chaos of a family cruise. It's a little slice of paradise, and I think anyone looking for a calm, peaceful moment on the ship will love it as much as I do. There's a dedicated outdoor smoking area on the ship, and it always seemed to be at least mostly full. It's clearly a popular spot for those who smoke, and being outdoors keeps the rest of the ship comfortable for everyone else. During our sailing, the ship was packed with kids, which isn't surprising since Carnival really is a family cruise line. If you have little ones, there's plenty to keep them busy beyond the slides and pool. The Kids Club is a huge part of that, and it's actually split into different groups depending on age, so every kid can find something fun to do. For the youngest cruisers, from 6 months to 2 years, there's a program called Turtles. It's not a full drop-off program, but it gives parents a little break while their tiny ones are safe and entertained. From ages 2 to 11, kids can join Camp Ocean, which is broken into 3 groups: penguins for the 2 to 5-year-olds, stingrays for the 6 to 8 crowd, and sharks for the 9 to 11 group. Each group has age-appropriate activities from arts and crafts and dance to science experiments, games, and sports. Even if your kids aren't into everything on the schedule, just getting them in there early usually means they'll meet friends quickly and have a lot more fun hanging out with kids their own age. For the tweens, ages 12 to 14, there's Circle C. It's a really cool hangout where they can socialize, play video games, watch movies, and enjoy activities at their own pace. Then for teens, ages 15 to 17, there's Club O2. This is their space to relax, listen to music, dance, play games, and just have their own area to hang out with peers. And for evenings, the ship offers Night Owls, a late-night babysitting service for kids 6 months to 11 years. Younger kids can watch movies or rest, while older kids can play games, listen to music, and sometimes even join theme parties. It's a great way for parents to enjoy the evening entertainment, knowing their children are having fun too. One funny thing I noticed is that Serenity is for guests 21 and older, while the Kids Club stops at 18. That leaves anyone 18, 19, or 20 in a kind of no man's land. Too old for the kids' programs, but too young for the adult-only space. Here's my insider tip. Even if your kids aren't eager to join the activities, get them in there early. They'll meet friends right away, and suddenly the cruise becomes a whole lot more fun for them. At the same time, it gives parents a true break to relax without worrying about whether their kids are having a good time or being dragged to things they don't enjoy. Of course, you'll still want to spend quality time together as a family, but letting them enjoy the cruise with other kids strikes a great balance. The Kids Club really is the jumping off spot for making sure everyone, kids and adults alike, has a fantastic experience on board. I'd also recommend getting the water slide waiver signed early so you don't have to think about it later. Before the cruise, set clear expectations with your kids about where and when to meet, and then remind them throughout the trip so everyone's on the same page. It also gives you the chance to make mid-course corrections if needed. For my family, we always checked in during breakfast to talk about the day ahead, and then again for dinner, where we'd catch a show together. We also like to play cards while waiting for dinner, which was a fun way to hang out and stay connected. That's just how my family rolls, but no matter how your crew is, it's definitely a good idea to have a routine where you make daily contact with your kids. It keeps everyone organized and makes the cruise more enjoyable for both parents and kids. There's also an arcade on board, which is always a fun option if the weather isn't cooperating or if the kids just need a break from the pool. One important thing to keep in mind is that your child's key card is linked to your credit card, so make sure you set clear spending limits ahead of time. The games usually cost around $2.50 each, but the more tokens you buy, the more you save. So buying in bulk can be a good deal. I actually thought the arcade was a lot of fun. It's a great way for kids to burn some energy, and honestly, it can be entertaining for adults too if you decide to join in. The average American walks about 3,000 to 4,000 steps a day, but cruise ships completely change that. On board, even just wandering around the ship can easily push you to 10,000 steps a day, and that's before you factor in shore excursions. Once you get off the ship and explore ports, that number can jump to 15,000 or more. It sounds like a lot, but the walking is spread throughout the day, and thankfully, most ships are designed with comfort in mind, with plenty of seating scattered across decks, lounges, and public areas. On this ship, the amount of seating was slightly less than I've seen on other vessels, but it was still sufficient for finding a comfortable spot to relax and take a break. There are plenty of areas to pause, catch your breath, and just enjoy enjoy the views. Around the pool, the prime spots fill up fast, so arriving early is key if you want a chair in the sun. But even if the main pool area is crowded, there are deck chairs scattered along the upper levels and in the corners, which not only offer a great spot to relax, but also provide fantastic views of the ocean and a perfect place to work on your tan. This ship doesn't have cabanas or paid premium seating, so everything is open to everyone, which makes timing and positioning a little more strategic. Towels and personal items are often used to reserve chairs early in the morning, which is common on most ships. Overall, while you may spend a lot of time walking, the ship provides enough comfortable seating to rest whenever you need it, making it easy to balance activity with relaxation and enjoy your cruise at your own pace. When you book a cruise, you rarely think about how easy it will be to get around the ship. On smaller ships, navigation tends to be straightforward, but that wasn't exactly the case on Carnival Freedom. The main dining room is right in the center of 2 decks that are packed with popular areas, which can make exploring the 3rd and 4th floors a little tricky. Many passengers found themselves walking up and down stairs just to get around the dining room, and I wouldn't be surprised if some sections of the ship went completely unnoticed by certain guests because they didn't realize they were there. Once you spend a day or two getting your bearings, it becomes easier to move around, but that initial frustration is definitely noticeable. Most people, especially when going between multiple floors, opt to use the elevators. Carnival Freedom doesn't have smart elevators that tell you which corridor to wait at, but surprisingly, this didn't seem to be an issue at all. On some ships, smart elevators can actually frustrate passengers, but on this cruise, getting around using the standard elevators was smooth and straightforward. Overall, while the layout takes a little time to get used to, once you figure it out, navigating the ship becomes second nature. If you're wheelchair bound or use a mobility device like a walker or scooter, you'll be happy to know that Carnival Freedom is very accommodating. I saw plenty of passengers with mobility devices getting around the ship with no issues at all. The biggest challenge can be finding wheelchair accessible cabins, since older ships like this don't have as many available. Another potential hurdle is navigating elevators during peak times, especially if you're traveling with a larger scooter or power chair. But overall, the ship is well set up to make getting around manageable for everyone. The ship makes it easy to find your way around with plenty of maps posted throughout, especially near the elevators. They're really helpful for getting your bearings, figuring out which deck you're on, and planning your route to dining, entertainment, or pools. There is internet on board, and I was pleasantly surprised by how strong and reliable the signal is. You can stream videos, scroll social media, check emails, or even do video calls from most parts of the ship without major interruptions. For anyone who relies on staying connected, the quality of the service is impressive. What might be a little less exciting is the price. Internet on cruise ships is expensive compared to what you'd pay at home, especially if you're paying daily rates. If you're someone who just wants to check messages or send a quick text, the basic package is enough. But if you plan to stream movies, upload videos, or play online games, the more advanced packages will cost significantly more. The good news is that Carnival Freedom offers a variety of internet packages to fit different needs. You can choose what makes sense for you, whether it's the cheapest option for light usage or a heavier plan for full streaming and surfing. If you're looking to save money, my biggest tip is to prepare before you even step on board. Download music, podcasts, YouTube videos, movies, or games that don't require Wi-Fi. You'll quickly realize how often you naturally reach for your phone. People can touch their phones over 1,000 times a day. Without preparation, you might experience a bit of withdrawal when you're on the ship. Another tip is to think about how and when you use the internet. Even with a strong signal, heavy usage during peak hours can sometimes slow things down. If you plan your streaming or uploads for early in the morning or later at night, it can make your connection feel smoother. Overall, while internet on a cruise comes with a higher price tag, the strength and reliability make it worthwhile if staying connected is important to you. With a little planning and the right package, you can enjoy your digital life at sea without constant worry about interruptions or overcharges. One important thing to keep in mind is that the ship's internet is not a standard phone plan. If you want to stay in touch with family and friends while at sea, you'll need to rely on web-based calling apps like WhatsApp, Zoom, or FaceTime. You can also connect through your regular phone carrier using the ship's network, but that can get very expensive very quickly. Personally, I like to wait until I'm onshore and then use Wi-Fi to make calls, which saves a lot of money and frustration. When it comes to the people you'll meet on board, you'll find a nice mix, but the majority are Americans. This isn't one of those cruises where you'll find a huge international crowd. The typical demographic skews a little older. A lot of passengers are 50 and above, but because we cruised in the summer, there were fewer older passengers than you'd usually see during the off-season. We saw a good mix of families, couples, and groups of friends just looking to have a great time. If you have spent any time on the internet lately, you have probably seen the viral videos of people behaving badly on Carnival ships, fights breaking out, passengers getting kicked off, and just general chaos. Honestly, I was a little worried about that before this trip, especially since I had my family with me. Nobody wants their vacation ruined by drunken behavior, loud arguments, or unsafe situations. I am happy to say that was absolutely not the case on this cruise. The atmosphere on board was friendly and relaxed the entire time. People were respectful, having a great time, and really just enjoying themselves. I did not see any fights, no shouting matches, no drunken groups causing trouble. It felt like a normal cruise experience with families, couples, and groups of friends. Everyone was there to have fun, not to create problems. My sailing philosophy is to spend as little time in the cabin as possible. For me, the cabin is mainly where I sleep, change, and recharge for the next adventure. As soon as I wake up, I am out exploring the ship and soaking up as much of the experience as I can. This time, I had an interior cabin which was small but comfortable. It was simple, functional, and gave me exactly what I needed without any extra frills. If you are worried about feeling a little closed in, consider getting a larger cabin or one with a window or balcony. Just keep in mind that you will pay quite a bit more for those upgrades, and if you are not planning to spend much time in the room, that money might be better spent on excursions, drinks, or specialty dining. Housekeeping stopped by once a day, which was perfect. I like coming back to a refreshed room, but if you want privacy or just want to be left alone, you can hang the Do Not Disturb sign just like you would in a hotel. The beds were surprisingly comfortable, and the linens felt fresh and soft. After a long day on shore or a night of dancing, it was exactly what I needed to crash and get ready for the next day. Room service is also available, and one of my favorite little luxuries is ordering continental breakfast right to my cabin in the morning. It is complimentary and includes things like coffee, juice, cereal, fruit, and pastries. I really enjoyed the crew on this cruise. They worked hard to make sure every part of the trip was enjoyable and memorable, and it really showed. The service was warm and welcoming, and you could tell they took pride in what they were doing. One of the biggest challenges you might run into is a bit of a language barrier. There were a few times when I felt like I couldn't communicate as clearly as I wanted to, but honestly, that was the exception, not the rule. Most of the crew members understood me just fine, and they were always willing to go out of their way to make sure I was happy. Most of the crew come from all over the world, especially from Southeast Asia and other developing countries. For many of them, this job is a way to provide a better life for themselves and their families back home. They spend months at a time at sea, often working 7 days a week with long hours. They sacrifice a lot, missing birthdays, holidays, family milestones, and even major life events while they are away. Knowing this really gives you a new level of appreciation for the work they do. They are smiling, cheerful, and attentive, even though their jobs are demanding and the schedule never really stops. So if you get the chance, thank them for what they do. A kind word, a smile, or even filling out a comment card goes a long way toward showing them that their efforts are noticed. They are a big part of what makes a cruise such a special experience. Overall, I got the feeling that most passengers were just enjoying themselves and having fun, which really added to the overall positive vibe on board. This ship may not be the newest in the fleet, but it absolutely holds its own. During my time on board, it never once felt run down or neglected. The crew really goes above and beyond to keep everything looking sharp and in great shape. Sure, if you're used to sailing on the very latest cutting-edge cruise ships, you might notice a few spots that show its age, but honestly, you'd have to be looking hard for flaws. For most people, that's not what cruising is about anyway. What really matters are the experiences, the people you meet, and the destinations you visit. And this ship delivers in all those areas. It's a solid, well-maintained vessel, and you can tell that the staff takes pride in their work. If you're looking for the newest, flashiest ship out there, this isn't it. But if you want solid value for your money and a fun, laid-back cruise experience, then I'd consider Carnival Freedom a strong option.